Hi, Scott. Most talented. Yes. I think so. I think most experienced, I would say, than most talented. But definitely the experience having all of our seniors come back. It's super exciting. We thought we were going to lose Tay. We only had her 2 years, and now we got her 3 years. Thought we were going to lose Moss. We had her 4 years. Now we got her 5 years. So it's really nice to have them come back, and it's because they know the system so well, and they're super hungry, and the COVID thing was just a lot for every student athlete in the country. So I think they're just really excited about having a full year and not missing games, and having that experience to continue to play for championships.
Well, how does the team dynamic change like that when you have super seniors? I guess that's what we're calling them, super seniors coming back. You got more scholarship players than you normally had. You've got a lot of experience. Yep. How does that kind of changing as a coach, knowing you've got not just seniors but fifth-year people ready to play?
I don't think it changes because everybody's back from last year, so we just continue on from last year. I think that the numbers are a little different, but for us it's really beneficial for us for the numbers because we press. We're going to press, and now we can run more people in and out, and with a lot more experience back, that really helps us with our press and the way we want to play fast. So I think that the freshmen, it might hurt them a little bit in terms of playing time, but freshmen always have to work their way in, so it just gives us more numbers in terms of pressing and giving our upperclassmen some breaks during the game.
It's like helpful that you guys have those super seniors coming back, but at the same time, everyone has those super seniors coming back. So what challenges does that pose for your team, knowing that you still have to deal with some of the people that you guys had to go against last year because they might be back too?
Yeah.
Do you see that as a challenge, or do you see that as it'll help you guys too?
Well, not everybody has everybody back, so not everybody chose to come back, you know what I mean? So it's just going to be a school-by-school situation. I know there's a lot of coaches that I know, some of their seniors chose not to come back, because they either, wanted to get their career going, or they wanted to play overseas, or they're playing in the WNBA. So there's some schools that not everybody came back, and I haven't counted in our conference what it is or who's all back, but we just obviously worry about ourselves and what we have back, and knock on wood, trying to keep everybody healthy.
We're talking here about so much that's the same. What's something that's different this season from last that could lead you to be more successful?
I think there's competition. I think that now you're not guaranteed you're the one that's going to play 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. There's competition, so you're going to have to beat somebody out, So are you going to beat Mossney out? Are you going to beat Cortege out? I don't know. Are you going to beat Diamond out? The three that were just here, those are the ones that are really tough to beat out. So, but it also brings competition because some of the other younger ones that are moving up, the ranks that should be seniors or juniors now, they're actually fighting for position in practice every day, which we really didn't have. It was our scout guys, going against them. So we've had a lot of really good competition in practice every single day. I can actually split the teams up in 2 groups and have it be really even. That's a lot of fun for us as coaches. I don't have to put my coaches out there to make it even, right? I can put all of them together, play against each other, and compete against each other. It's been really cool to see.
Talking about competition, how has that war on I-4 rivalry just intensified as your two teams have battled?
I don't know if it's intensified. I think that we both schools, and Jose and I respect each other so much, and obviously he's got a crew coming back, and I got a crew coming back, but we actually have a really healthy competition between the two of us. So he makes us better, we make him better, and I think that when we play each other, like, we put aside that and we just try to play and fight for that war on I-4 thing. But like UConn used to be, they used to make us better. USF definitely makes us better, and I feel like Jose feels the same about us.
I know this is a little bit in the future in terms of USF. Obviously going to be conference mates this year, next year. But when you guys go to the Big 12, is that a series you would like to see continue in the non-conference?
Yeah, actually, him and I have talked about that, and just because I really respect him as a coach and how he coaches, and it's not, to him, it's not personal, and so and it's close, and we could just drive there, and it's really hard to schedule, really hard to schedule for him and myself. Like when we do scheduling right now, he calls me and says, who said yes, who said no, can I call them, because literally we're right here, right? So if they're wanting to come to UCF, maybe they'll go to USF, you know, if they don't want to play us. So that's going to be a game where, you know, we can make it. We've talked about having some fun tournaments with both of us, you know. So have a tournament just to get games, because it's really hard to get games for both of us.
Coach, you talked about the competition within your team. Every single player we talked to today talked about that sour taste they have from last season. They're more hungry this season.
Yep.
You've seen that in practice so far?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was talking about, that competition, you know, and I think it's good. And you know, and our team likes to play with the chip on their shoulder all the time, and so, you know, I don't know exactly what they said, but I do know that, you know, just only playing 12, 13, 14 conference games, that's, you know, not a lot. We want to play the full thing. We want to play our full schedule. You know, we want it to come out, you know, even, and, you know, at the end, that's who is going to win the conference or win the game or win the, you know, tournament. And it was just so hard with COVID. You didn't know who was coming to your place, if you were even going to be able to go to your place. And so that took a lot of games away from our team, and especially our seniors. You know, our seniors were like, yikes, I'm not going to have a full season. Like it just didn't sit well with them, you know. So obviously we're excited to have, hopefully we can remain having a full season, and, you know, this COVID thing will kind of balance itself out a little bit.
You hang your hat on the defensive end of the floor.
Yep.
At the other end,
Yep.
you confident that you've got the players willing to take the big shots and maybe be a little selfish if they have to.
Yep. Did you tell them that? Yeah. We've actually, you know, because we're very, everybody's come back. There's not a kid that hasn't left. We're very seasoned in our defense, and so we really started to do a couple different things in offense. I'm not going to give you my secrets, but just trying to get everybody really to take those shots, and really been working on that. And also, I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but we had the full summer too. Like, we didn't have the full summer before, and so we had the full summer where we could get them fit in the weight room, get them working out, you know, start shooting a lot more with our coaches, you know, work on our offense, just do a whole lot more than we did the year before. And so that's really going to show up in when you watch games of, you know, Mostany's going to stretch the floor a little bit more, because she's been really working on her outside game. So is Diamond, so is Tay. Like, so we're going to have a lot of different scores, and we've really been, you know, preaching that. But it really helped to have the summer to really hone in on that.
You put together a challenging non-conference schedule, and you get Tennessee. And
why did I do that? No. As it's coming up next week. You know, obviously our conference and our conference coaches got together, and, you know, we talked about, let's really get our RPI, our net, higher for our conference, and we talked about that. But the reason we scheduled a lot of these different games was, number one, we couldn't get anybody to play us. That was the first thing. But number two, we wanted to get ready for our conference, because if we prepare ourselves at the beginning, then when we go into our conference, I feel like we're going to be way more prepared, you know, to play some of these bigger games that we're playing. And we have a lot of really good teams coming in. Even our first game with Duquesne, they play really hard. We played them 3 years ago at that place, and he does a great job of coaching, and so now he's finally coming back. So our first game of the year is going to be really tough against Duquesne, and then obviously it just happens that Tennessee's the next game, and then we have Virginia, and then we, you know, so it was really a struggle to get teams just to come in and play us. So we had to, you know, make sure that we could get some of these returns, because Duquesne was 3 years ago. They were supposed to return for COVID, but they pushed it back. So now all these returns, I don't even know if you guys even understand how it kind of works, but the COVID thing really messed up all of our schedules in the country. So now we got some of the returns finally coming back, and then some new series coming in. So Tennessee is a new series. They said they would come here first because they had a hard time scheduling, and so we'll go back there the next year. So you know, I'm excited just for the challenge, and I think for our players to play. You're talking about Tennessee, to play Tennessee and play Virginia and play USC, and, you know, we have a lot of really good competition coming in. Play Arkansas. We got a lot of really good teams.
And they're not playing them right away. Tennessee, did that mean something to you growing up? Obviously, Pat Summitt, the legendary coach there for years. I mean, that kind of like the standard for a long time. Did that mean anything, that program, when you were kind of coming up through basketball?
Well, I played against them because I
You were
played
Georgia.
college basketball, everybody. This is what I tell my players. You know, I played, you know. They're like, you played? You're so old, Go Dave. I'm like, okay, I played, right? But I played at Georgia. I don't know if you know that. And so I played against, and she was one of the icons, idols. She recruited me, you know, the whole thing. So, you know, I always say I played for Vivian Stringer too at Iowa, but my mom is not in the house anymore, and Pat's not in the house anymore. So it's a completely different program, right? But that Tennessee name, you know, for women's basketball, you know, that's still gonna, you know, be something really historic for me, because I had the opportunity to actually play in that facility every single year, and you know, especially looking down and seeing her was really amazing.
As someone who's played in the Big 12 conference, what are your thoughts on the UCF entry?
Sorry, I didn't hear the first part.
I said, as someone who's played in the Big 12 conference, what are your thoughts on UCF entering?
Yeah, I didn't play in the Big 12. I coached in the Big 12. I actually coached at Iowa State when it was the Big 8. And so, and was there with Bill Fenley, the current head coach that's there now, and his kids were very, very young. They were babies. But obviously, that who knows when we're going in, so we really are focused on the American right now and our conference and what we got to do here. But I think it's, I'm very familiar with the conference, obviously, and very familiar with a lot of the coaches in the conference. And, you know, for me, I'm from Iowa, so obviously my family was like, yeah, you gotta come back home, you know. But I'm like, I don't know when that's gonna be. It could be in 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 2 years from now. Who knows when it's gonna be? But, you know, we'll tackle that bridge when, you know, we hit it. But one of my players is from Kansas. One of my coaches is from Kansas. You know, we have players from Oklahoma. We got, you know, different players. And for that, it's just going to open up our recruiting too. You know, who in the Midwest now doesn't want to come to Florida? You can always go back home in the cold if you want, but you could come to Florida. So we're hoping that, you know, we can extend our recruiting a little different too.
Are you seeing a tremendous response to recruiting-wise? Because obviously the players you're recruiting now are going to be part of those Big 12 teams in a few years, whenever that season is.
Yeah.
Right? Have you gotten a tremendous response in the last couple months since the announcement was made?
I think more so not yet the players, because I don't in the recruiting classes in the 23s and the 24s when we're recruiting, I don't think that they understand completely yet. I think that's going to be us really talking to them about that, and their AAU coaches accepting that we're like Power 5, which means football. It doesn't mean anything about women's basketball, but that Power 5 thing really matters to young women, and so, you know, like, it's gonna, now that all the schools really here in the state of Florida, the ACC, the Big 12, and the SEC, that's really gonna, you know, jump us in recruiting wise with not just, you know, top 25, because we've got some recruits that are top 25 kids coming in next year, but we can start really, we just got to get one or two of the, you know, higher level kids in terms of rankings, and, you know, it's just really going to open things up for us and my coaches.
Coach, obviously the ultimate goal is championship in America.
Yep.
But what's something that you'd like to see happen? What's something that, if this happened, you think the player this year is successful?
Injury free. I mean, that, I know that sounds like, wow, that's not a big thing, but it is hard to keep them like healthy, because it's just the way we play. We play so physical. We play so tough. We play so aggressive. You know, we just don't play like all you guys like the pretty basketball. You stand on the 3-point line and shoot. Like, we just don't. We play. We get after it. You know, and that's the way people don't like to play. They want to, don't touch me, that kind of thing. So to keep us healthy, that's a daily challenge. We want to really make sure they're all taking care of their bodies, they're eating right, sleeping right. I think when that happens, especially going in at the end, and we got them all healthy and they're in really good shape too, I think that's the key to everything. Yeah. A lot. I mean, we're talking about Shania Mertens and Neela Luma. One came from GW and the other one came from Clemson, and it's funny because we recruited them both really, really hard when we got here to UCF. And then when they decided to leave their schools, the first people they called, because we were successful. When we first got here, we had to, change a culture a little bit. And so now that we're successful, they're like, no, I mean, literally those two, we didn't even have to recruit. They actually called us and were like, hoping we called them, you know what I mean? Because they were like, I probably should have gone to you in the first place. And you actually play the style of basketball they love to play. So we're really excited for those two, Scott. You're going to see them a lot. They're going to play a lot of minutes, and I know we got all the returning seniors, but their experience and the way they play, I mean, they're going to be that addition that's going to really help us this year.
Time for one more.
I know coaches aren't really satisfied usually, but how pleased are you with where the program is at right now?
I mean, we want to win it all, but I mean, it takes a while it didn't take us that long to flip the game winnings, right? But to get the culture set, like our culture is set, right? So, I mean, it's a culture that even with AAU coaches or high school coaches, they say to their AAU play, I don't think you can play for Abe. No, if you're going to play there, you got to be able to be in great shape. You got to be tough. You got to be able to press. Like, you got to want to be in the grind. They all say they want to do that, but not every kid wants to do that. So I think the culture's set is what you're asking, and I think now that our culture's set, I think just continuing to win and continuing to get those type of kids into our program that want to play the way we play, it's a lot easier that way. So, obviously we just the signing date's coming up next week, and I know I can't talk about that, but the 4 kids that we got, they fit our culture big time, So then the 23s are going to fit our culture, the 24s will fit our culture, and I think those type of players will find us now instead of us having to go find them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.
Good
Have a
luck.
great day.